Yo, let's go. What's going on? Episode 348, Cold Hard Facts Podcast. I am DNA, the only one, the one and only. Of course, back again, once again. I have two people here, one co-host and one non-co-host, you feel me? The other two, well, one is on vacation and one having troubles in life. Let's just go with that. Life troubles. Mr. Thurman made his return.
Yeah, how you doing? Blessed and highly favored. Glad to be back.
Yeah, man. It's just good to have you back. Now the reason why I will go in detail, because I already told Silk this, but I don't like doing two mics. I don't like just two mics. I like a third mic because it's different opinion. Like you might disagree on something, or I might disagree on something. Like I don't want it to just be a clean, smooth sailing show all the time. Like there has to be some breakage in there. You feel me? And the third mic normally do that. You feel me?
Yeah, man.
Yeah. But we have a lot to talk about. I don't know what y'all want to get into first. The first thing I thought of was the Drake case, though.
What happened?
They recently they've amended some stuff.
He did?
I guess, and no, UMG
amended
some of the stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, I know about this.
Yeah, and not well, as far as the Not Like Us song goes, they've put a lot of YouTube internet comments and IG comments and in there. It's a lot of redlining stuff. It's like 104 pages of like that document. So I didn't read that. I've just like looked at the breakdowns.
Yeah.
People breaking it down and everything. And I know UMG said something about be careful what you wish for or something like that to them. But yeah, it's a lot of crazy stuff going on as far as that goes.
Yeah, what they put in the comments to what end though? What were they trying to say? Like it was harassment or was it cyberbullying?
I don't know.
Okay.
I honestly do not know, but I just know that they both they have used bots. They also put Joe Budden name in there because he did say something about y'all didn't know Kendrick is using bots, but I mean, every artist uses bots if you're part of a major record label like UMG. So that's not really non-factual. Like everybody does. So it's just
but do you really think they have to? I mean, if we're looking at the structure of this, right? They get your music, okay, you're already popular. They work with the DSPs. There's all these like NDAs wrapped up on who gets paid what. They put you on all these playlists, and now some arguably say that people don't belong in. But I mean, if they're pushing to the forefront, if they're putting you on everybody's daily mix and everything like that, do they even need the bots?
Yes
I mean that as a real question.
Yes and no.
Yeah.
John, you want to go first?
Do they necessarily need them? No. Truth be told, I ain't gonna lie to both of y'all. I've never really quite fully understood the concept of the bots in streaming or the necessity of it. I figure it's just to boost up numbers for financial purposes, in my opinion. But I mean, do you necessarily need them? No.
I say yes and no because I'm agreeing with you on the no. The yes part is because some of these artists, it depends on the deal that was structured around the streaming part of the contract that you sign. Because I'm sure the DSPs, it has to have a certain number of plays on Apple, it has a certain number of plays on Spotify, et cetera, et cetera. And like I said a couple weeks back, like they also going to social media, like they're calculating the amount of followers and Kendrick Lamar is pretty much worldwide now. especially after the Super Bowl performance.
Yeah,
And
it's not
now,
like he wasn't before that. But
right, and then it's not like he wasn't before that. It's just like, um,
I heard they were
he's
selling tickets like 60% off. I heard they're having some trouble
that.
that is something that I heard as well.
filling some
Yes,
stadiums
that is true. That
for a
is true. I
two-man
seen
tour.
that part. Yeah, but
It's a
that's
little
because
concerning.
I feel like that's because of it could be has something to do with ticket sales and how they're priced and all the fees of that. So, and also it has something to do with the fact that who's the opener? It's just SZA and Kendrick. It's like nobody else placed on that tour. So it's like, um, technically they're both closing acts, headlining acts. So if you think about it, if like one more artist was put on that bill, I feel like it would have sold out by now. So
Probably. I mean, you would think that two artists with the star power of a Kendrick Lamar and a SZA would have the power to sell out a stadium on their own without needing to opening act. But I understand where you're coming from.
right,
You talking about two global powerhouses, so you know. I know a
yeah,
lot of them. I know a lot of the shows have sold out, but I don't know. Maybe it's just. I think maybe I don't know. I don't know exactly where they're doing these shows where the stadiums are selling tickets for a discounted price. Maybe that's because of the region or the fan base he has in that particular area or whatever. Because I realized something that I've always known, but you kind of catch yourself at like a aha moment and you start understanding a lot more things. I realized, like, dog, it's 8 billion people in this world. There are so many people that don't fuck with Kendrick. So it's like, it may seem like a large number of people might fuck with his music, but in reality, that number is so small compared to the billions and billions and billions of people who live on this planet. And not to mention the billions of people who live in this country. So it's like maybe it's just the region or the area. Like maybe he ain't got that much traction in those cities as you think he does.
I can definitely see that, right? Because his whole battle was for the Black Americans. And a lot of what was not being said, or kind of directly but not directly, is like, well, you might be Black, but you're Caribbean or you're Canadian, like you're not from the U.S. And in America, that was powerful, right? And a lot of people were hopping on that bandwagon. Some of those people, uh, were kind of defending something that was like a bullet coming their way, if you get my drift. Like there are a lot of people saying like, yeah, Drake's not real. And it's like, you don't he's talking about you.
Hmm.
Kendrick's talking about you as well. But let me not get
Hmm.
into that too much. But you guys understand what I'm saying. It
I get
doesn't need to be
exactly what you mean.
exactly. So, but I'm also realizing, you know what? Maybe the bot things are needed because ticket sales, you can't bot ticket sales. Right? Because even if you do a resale, in order to make it believable, you then have to sell the tickets at a higher price. And with all this price gouging, the economy, the jobs, the hiring freezes, everything like that, you got a lot of stuff working against you. And it is a little sus to have a number one hit and have a Super Bowl performance because there's so high demand for you. And then you can't sell a tour with another headliner. That's a little, and I'm not blaming Kendrick necessarily, but it seems a little shady. And to follow up with you, Silk, also about what you were saying about the streams, I do realize that most people really aren't right into music like that. Like they listen to it,
Hmm.
but part of the reason you need the bots is like keeping up with the Jones effect, right? It's like, well, I don't want to listen to it if it's not hot anymore. Like I only want to listen to the popular stuff because they don't really care about the music to begin with. It's just like background noise for them. Maybe when they're on their commute, but they're not like, oh, I get home or like I got a little break, let me listen to some music. Oh, this party, I got like specific requests. I'm starting to realize that like a lot of people aren't like me or you guys where I'm like, man, I want this to hit. Like I want this to fit the vibe. This is like part of the decoration, right? This is part of the decor. Like music is really important. But most people, they have no taste. They have no taste. They have no real demand for the music. They don't want to pay for it. I mean, you even see that with like Sexy Red, who I think is very underrated and I think is going to be very prolific when it's all said and done. But like people aren't buying her tickets, but when you're looking at her impact, I'm like, how are people not buying this? What is going on? That doesn't make any sense. But yeah, people just get caught up in this thing, right? And they think they know music, and there's a lot of people, especially who never made music before, have so much to say. And they
Mm-hmm.
really need to know their place, because there's a lot of people who are incredibly condescending about, like, I know good music, you don't know music. They never wrote a song in their life. They're on camera singing covers. They got their little guitar. There's there's a specific personality for these types of people, but they want to tell you what's this and what's that. It's like, guy, you have no idea what it takes to make music at this level. You don't really understand the stratification and the talent levels and all the different hours that it takes. People are just surfing on Pitchfork and repeating whatever they see, right? So yeah, it is going to be a little harder, especially when you have real quality music, to get that off the ground sometimes. So yeah, you know what? Maybe we do need the bots. Maybe we needed some bots for these ticket sales. Also, just to get it started. I don't know. Maybe somebody will have some ingenuity with that.
Yeah. I mean, I think that the ticket sales price, like, it's like the best I could see from, like, as far as buying a ticket, because I go to shows and go to concerts. Like, you have to hit the pre-sale, because if you wait after the pre-sale, the ticket price is going up, and a lot of people are just reselling. So
Yeah.
like,
And they're using bots for that.
right?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Coachella
Right,
got
yeah.
people on payment
Like,
plans. I just heard that yesterday.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did hear that. I saw that on Twitter. I'm gonna say something. This thing right here is possibly the best and worst thing to ever happen to society.
Yeah.
Because, like, if you think about it, like, when we talking about streaming, like, when the whole time that Thurman was talking, I'm just like, bro, I really wish we could just go back to the time when niggas had to actually go put the boots on the ground and go buy the shit instead of just fucking with this. Because it's like, dog, like, it's so much bullshit that comes behind it. Like,
Yeah.
Because you can't fake that
It's
that foot traffic.
see,
right.
in DNA, that's part of the. I've never been able to articulate it, but that's part of the reason why I'm so adamant on buying CDs and vinyls still, because it's just like, dog, like, one day, all of this shit is gonna be gone. You know what I mean? Like, we supposed to
Yeah.
have, like, physical, like, stuff. You know what I mean? Like, it's an art form that I think we need to take more seriously and bring back as a society, not just, like, don't get me wrong, I love having all the songs that I love and other things at my fingertips. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't gotta pay for every fucking thing. But I don't mind spending my hard earned money on a physical copy of some shit that I really enjoy. You know what I mean?
And
Yeah.
that's what it definitely used to be like. That's why I salute all those artists that's like really starting to realize that now. Like, I didn't listen. I didn't look at the whole Wiz interview, but Wiz is also like was on Breakfast Club, and he was talking about how, like, yeah, we trying to get back to that blog era. I'm trying to feed my fans. The fans want it. You feel me? So that's why he's still putting out freestyle, dude. The album just came out. Like, he's still doing it. Like, it's almost like you can't keep up. Wiz is a different type of worker anyway. The way he crafts projects and the way he's just like, always at it. And he's about to go on tour soon also. So, and that's why it's like it's important to like have these artists that actually care about the music, and these artists that's just doing it for the money is gonna fall by the wayside. So
I will support what you said. I think, and I'm going to call this right now, vinyls, specifically vinyls from the DatPiff era or any type of free digital album, vinyls from the mixtape era are going to be one of the most coveted artifacts in art 50 years down the line. With all of these websites, because DatPiff kind of is not as smooth as it used to be. Websites go down all the time. You have exclusives, whether it's hot new hip hop or whatever, and you have these vinyls. You have this artwork. You have the physical record. And the prices are going up now. So I recommend you get as many of those as possible. But that's just going to get worse, and that's going to get good if you own them. Faces is $60, maybe 70 actually. And that's in Minnesota.
It is.
That's in like
Yeah,
St. Paul. That's not even in Chicago.
I bought that shit for the homie for Christmas. I paid quite a bit of money for that. So
I need to get on that. Faces, Live Love, ASAP. Speaking of Wiz, I need Prince of the City 2 on vinyl. I need Kush and Orange Juice 1. I need Taylor Alderdice on vinyl. I need every single one of those. Best Day Ever for my Meek Mill. You know, you can get your Dream Chasers, whatever. That's not my jam.
Kush and Orange Juice. We need Kush and Orange Juice on vinyl in its original form, not that remastered,
not the
remix BS. Like, we need the original.
Clear the samples. We need Section 80. Samples. We need that Schoolboy. That what was that? What's the?
Damn, that's funny because I actually own that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got Section 80
album. I'm trying to think. What it was called though?
Habits and Contradictions or Setbacks?
Yeah, Habits and Contradictions. That was a super underrated album. That was crazy. He went crazy.
Sure. For sure. So Westside Gunn dropped the EP Hills Have Eyes. It was expected. What it was Westside. It was like, I mean, like I'm pretty much falling off the bat with Westside, not because of the fact that like I feel like with what me and Westside, like I just like have a love-hate relationship. Like in most cases, I love what he's doing musically, and the other side of me is like I can't listen to this like every day. So it'd be like the earlier projects like Pray for Paris and one of the hit where Hermes is coming. I can't remember exactly. I can't remember which one, but this was solid. 5-song EP. I give it like a 7.5 out of 10. You know, like it's a couple songs. So like in the middle part of the project that I like. So I don't know if anybody else listened to that.
No, I heard it. You know, my whole thing with Westside Gunn has always just been his voice. That's it. That's all. Everything else is perfect. Dude can rap. Dude has charisma. Dude has presence. He's funny as hell. He can rap his ass off. It's just his voice. You know what I mean? And that's not his fault. It's just the voice that God gave him. You know what I mean? So it's like, what can you do? And I think I've become more accustomed to his voice as the years have gone by. Because at first, you know, I could listen to him. It's just like I can't stand to listen to this all the time. Like I can't do it. But now it's more like I've become so used to it. Just like okay, now I'm here. I'm good now. To a point where it doesn't piss me off all the time. But I heard the EP. It was solid. You know, there's not really much that I can't say about Westside Gunn that hasn't already been said, not just on this podcast, but on other podcasts or on the internet or whatever. Like, there's not much I can say. So anytime he releases something, I'm just like, I already know it's gonna be good. It might not be like super amazing, but I know he's gonna there's effort in there. And that's what I want from artists, like effort. Like that's the thing. Like niggas just be phoning in performances on these tracks and these albums and these mixtapes. Like nigga, just put some effort into it. I want you to do your best. I want you to do your best. I don't want you to just do whatever you think is popular. I don't want you to do whatever you saw on TikTok or whatever. I want you to put effort into your music. Even if you're doing TikTok music, put some effort into it. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. We need Big Sean level efforts for all these features. Whether you're a pop singer, rap, whatever. I need you to just get on there and just informally try to embarrass the other person. Don't go all control. Don't do that. Just straight skill. You know, like do it like it's an unspoken thing. I feel like even like when that control thing dropped, I'm like, well, Big Sean has been doing this to people without saying it out loud for like 4 years.
3
years. Like, don't say you want to murder
about
me.
My favorite rapper right now. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, don't say you want to murder me, guy. Come on, friend. Why don't we just rap? Like, I thought this is what we're doing. Like, if it was a 3-point contest, all you got to do is make more threes than me. Don't try to, like, throw the ball at my ball before it go in the hoop. Like, come on. I'm saying, you were saying your favorite rapper. Who is this? Kendrick?
Big Sean.
Nah,
Big
Big
Sean.
Oh,
Sean
Big
is his
Sean.
favorite
Right
rapper.
now?
Yeah,
No, it's
right now.
always been.
Oh.
Always
I'm
been.
not mad at you
Always.
for that. I'm really
Yeah,
not.
always been. Because, but I mean, everybody's issues with Big Sean has always been the same issues I had with him. But it's almost like noise, like whatever you're saying, I don't give a fuck. Like honestly, that's it. It's not like I don't really care because, like, I mean, I remember when I first heard Big Sean because it was like I was like I don't know, junior in high school, I think maybe. I don't know for sure, but
Damn, you got
like
onto
I
him
heard,
that late, huh?
yeah, like sometimes I did do get to certain artists late, but then end up like loving them at some point. So
Oh, no.
like,
I was the
but
same
yeah,
way with Wiz in high school.
see, like,
I thought those
so.
first 4 mixtapes were like hot garbage. So I get what you mean.
But I think I heard Big Sean, which was like what that was supposed to be I think that was supposed to be Finally Famous 2, but it's turned into Big Sean. And then years later, I probably heard the first Finally Famous, and then but and so on and so forth. But yeah, he been smoking niggas like on every time he get a like feature verse lately, he's been smoking niggas. So
Oh, really?
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
I gotta spin back on that.
Like my favorite verse right now is just run that shit back every day. What's Fuck the World, I think it's called.
Okay.
But it's FTW. Let me see. Let me find it.
That's a feature,
Find
or
the
is that a
next
song of his?
feature. He's on. What is it? It's by who is it by? Let me find. GT. Somebody from Detroit named
Oh,
GT.
okay.
And he's featured on the song. Big Sean is featured on the song. And I was just like, dude, I don't even care what you're saying right now. Get to the verse. But I listened to it in its entirety. But I just was like, yeah, okay, right.
And I mean, if you want to get on that subject, my experience with Big Sean is similar to yours, but I think I got on him probably a little bit earlier than you because I think it was my freshman year, probably about like early '09 is when I got on Big Sean and got on that whole thing because my cousin was a fan, so that's how I got introduced to him. And because I've said it on this podcast before, like the mixtapes are all great. The first Finally Famous album has aged poorly. Hall of Fame was a good attempt, but a lot of those songs were misguided. He really found his stride album wise by the time Dark Sky Paradise came out. So, he stumbled at first to me. Like he's a great rapper. It's just like his ability to create albums was this till Dark Sky Paradise.
Yeah.
Now he can do it. You know what I mean? Like, if you want to make a case like Dark Side Paradise is good, I decided it's good, but that depends on who you talk to. Detroit
That was an
2
amazing
is
album.
no, I said depending on who you talk to. I agree it's an amazing album, but it's
Oh.
also like I agree. It's just, depending on who you talk to.
Yeah.
So because some people didn't like that as much as Dark Sky Paradise.
Sky Paradise, yeah.
Detroit 2 was like this for some people because of how much they love the first Detroit. And that's the problem when you have a sequel to an album. We'll get to that later. But and then the last joint he put out, this Better Me Than You, like it was cool, you know what I mean? But I think I was expecting more. You know what I mean? Like it's cool, but I was expecting more.
I definitely was expecting more.
I'm glad you brought up that no, go ahead.
I also, I was expecting more, and I also feel like it came out at the wrong time, partially because of like everybody was talking about Kendrick and Drake at the time. So it's like it's almost like great rapping on there, but it's like it's almost like it was like an afterthought.
That means
it was
nothing.
it was almost like an afterthought though. Like the album is in its entirety, but it has some great songs on there, like I said. So
No, but
I mean,
when I say that doesn't matter. It's like it's almost like, I know you didn't say this specifically, but it's almost like it could be interpreted as like, okay, Kendrick and Drake is the only thing niggas is talking about. So I wouldn't advise none of you niggas to drop shit for the rest of the year. Like, don't even fucking do it. Don't even think about it. Don't even tell your label. Just scrap the album. Put it out in 25. No,
Right. I got
because
you.
that's not right. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, Kendrick and Drake were literally the talk of the year, but it's just like we got some really, really great albums before, during, and after that beef. You know what I mean? That
Right.
had nothing to do with them two. So
Right.
Yeah.
That's true.
I mean, they dropped a collab album basically, so for all intents and purposes. So that Dark Sky Paradise, all right, let's get to that, okay? Because I thought that was his like Forest Hills Drive. That was his, maybe not his Good Kid, Mad City. Maybe that was his like Section 80. But I thought that was like a great, because he came in with a different flow too. I call it the barrage flow, but you can describe it as you kind of know what I mean though. But yeah, he did that, and then was that after the Control though? Yeah, that
yeah,
was
that was
after
after Control.
Control, but that was before the Humble diss, the Kendrick
hmm
Humble diss. So honestly, do you think it would have been better for his career coming off of Dark Sky if the Humble verse came out and he should have just dissed Kendrick? Because I think that would have been the best, just to stay in the mix, because I feel like he disappeared after that. After like 2017, we just never really heard from him again in the greater, in the mainstream discussion. But I think he should have just came out swinging, and they could have just settled it there. And I think he's got enough wordplay to really hold his own.
Me personally, I feel like I don't know if he would have been in the right headspace. I think that's probably why he was missing at that time, because I think he was going through
I think I agree with that.
Because he was like on Adderall at the time. Because
what do you mean he was on Adderall?
He talked about that time, in that time period where he missed and everything. In the interview with Charlamagne.
Wait. But you mean like he was addicted to it?
Yeah. So in that time frame, I don't think he was really like all the way there mentally. So like now, I'm pretty sure like now, if somebody jumped out the window and dissed him now, like I think it would be a whole nother different type of situation.
I'm a little confused, and I mean this in the most respectful way I can put this. Like professionally, you have a very like mentally demanding profession, right? Which is rapping, and it's very wordplay heavy. So you take Adderall every day that's supposed to make you more productive and focused, right?
All right.
So wouldn't that like make you like work nonstop or like a workaholic? Like, what are you?
I think
this is a genuine question. Like, what are you doing on Adderall other than working?
That's true. I think there was more going on besides that, though.
Yeah, it was like a lot more going on in that time. He lost his grandmother, I think. A lot of personal stuff. Like
okay.
I don't remember everything, but it's because I looked at the interview around the same time I heard the album. So like I don't remember everything. It was like a big gap that they talked about. But I think it was an hour and a half interview, I think I'm gonna say.
Was he with Janae Aiko at the time?
He was.
Yes.
I don't think he was. Yeah.
The first time or the second time?
The first time.
Yeah, the first time.
I think they broke up somewhere in there too. The first time.
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah.
Buddy had a lot of personal shit going on at the time, so I'm not shocked that he wasn't really fucking with the music, and it's interesting that I can kind of segue this into another topic about rappers. It's like when rappers take long breaks and niggas get pissed because it's like, bro, like, what are you doing that you're not dropping music? And people fail to realize that these are human beings just like us. Like, you know what I mean? Like when people do music, we put them on this like huge high pedestal, like they're otherworldly, like they're godly, like they're not people. They've transcended that just because of the memories and the things we have associated with the music that they've given us. And it's like, no, that is a whole regular person who, if he wasn't doing music, we would not know who the hell he was. Like, You know what I mean? Like that's a whole human. He has the right to I'm not promoting this. I'm just saying he can probably fall into drug addiction. He can lose people. He can go through heartbreak. He or she can go through this, can go through that, and not want to fuck with music. Yes, that's their passion. That's what they love to do. It's their job. They get paid to do it. But it's like, do you show up to your job 100% every day? You walk around on Twitter, on Facebook, like, bitch, I hate my job. I want to quit so bad, blah, blah, blah. Like, they probably feel the same fucking way.
So I'm glad you said that. Because when I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, you must be a very good-hearted guy to be like, I'm upset. I don't want to make music. Because I feel like that's the perfect time. Aren't your tweets a little more fire when you like just kind of like on 10 that day? You mad
That's
about
true.
something like,
That's very true.
sometimes you get in your bag a little bit more. You're like, you know what?
That's
You're
very
getting
true.
at whatever it is you're getting at. And it's like, yeah, I mean, our jobs aren't like entirely contingent on our individual expression, right? If I had a job that's like I just like spout my opinion and people just like eat that up, like they want more and more of it. But I mean, I'm not a professional musician, so obviously what do I know? But I think that's one of the reasons people find Drake the GOAT, right? Because you just get to ride that wave of his life continuously.
Mm.
Good, bad. He's dropping an album. Bored,
Yeah,
he's
he
dropping an album.
done.
Disappointed, coming off L's, coming off wins, coming off Grammys. Never lets you down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was actually just thinking about this to myself not too long ago that if we want to look at the proverbial big three niggas, Drake has literally been the most consistent out of all three of them. Like literally, dude is always doing something. He has never taken more than a year off, and even if he take a year off, he's putting out singles, he's putting out features, he's active on social media. Like he's always doing something as compared to his contemporaries who have dropped better quality work, but they are not as consistent as he is. This is probably the most that we've seen Kendrick be consistent since Good Kid, Mad City days. Dude was doing
I was gonna
Yeah.
features
say,
back to back.
damn.
Dude was
But
doing no, not even damn, because dude was doing features back to back. Dude was on social media. Dude was doing interviews. All these things between 2011, 2013 time period, as opposed to later on, every album he dropped, the interviews were less. The social media presence was less. The features were less. You know what I mean? Like he's not as eager to work with other people as he once was. Whereas somebody like J. Cole, who has literally made a name for himself in this, I'm gonna call it the third act of his career, has made a name for himself off coming on other people's songs and killing them on features. That's literally like a niche of the third act of his career. On top of the fact that he's gotten better with the pen, it's like, all right, now I'm doing features with people as opposed to back when I first started out. I didn't want to do features with niggas. Fuck y'all, I'm better than y'all. I don't want to do songs with you niggas. So, but Drake is definitely the most consistent out of all three of those guys. He's dropping something. It might not be what you want it to be, but he's dropping something.
Yeah. He really gave his heart and spirit to this game as
He
much as
did.
possible. He's given everything. I honestly, this is gonna be good for his impact because he never ducked a beef or anything like that. He always stayed consistent. But I will say, if I'm like someone's manager going forward, I'm gonna tell him like never beef with somebody that you're above or more famous than. Like, I think this might, if people play their cards right, permanently change the culture of the genre. Because just think about all this stuff, this lawsuit and everything like that, and think about where they were and where they are, like Drake and Kendrick, and just think, how much more stress free could my life be if I didn't do this? On top of the fact that one person seems to be struggling to sell tickets, so now I just took the L for no reason. The whole point of chopping off the king's head is to take the crown off of it
Hmm.
and rule. not to have the kingdom in poverty. It's like, dang, I could have stayed then if we were going to do that, geez.
Yeah, well, I've said this before, I'll say it again. Do I think it was a good idea for this to happen? Yes, because of everything that had been going on prior. I think it was a good idea. The outcome of said idea, it depends on who you talk to, is very varied about the results of said beef. There's a lot of people who roll with Kendrick on this, including myself. I'm not saying Drake no hoe now, but I knew that as far as like when we talking about rapping, that was not a realm I don't think Drake was fully mentally prepared to step into due to the fact of being compared to him the entire second part of your career,
Yeah,
plus your name always in conversation with him,
yeah,
and you
yeah,
really buddy, like really buddy with the other guy in that conversation, but this
yeah,
one don't really fuck with you like that. And it's like, all right, nah, I'm finna go at this nigga. Fuck it. But
yeah.
I
You
don't
should have
think
taken it more
his
serious, but
yeah, I think he wasn't taking it as serious as he should have, especially in
not
the
at
beginning.
all. Not at all. It was
Um,
a real Boy Scout effort, which I think is actually very commendable because I think he could have took that to a whole nother place. Again, if we just making stuff up, I mean,
yeah, for
people
sure.
have very creative minds.
Now, I was watching one of the episodes that you were on here, and you were talking
Yeah.
about the Drake lawsuit. I don't want to get into all that, but I will say this: whether or not the lawsuit is an attack at the industry or not, I can't really say because I didn't read any of it.
Mm-hmm.
However, in the public perception, I really wish somebody would have told Drake, like, look, man, if you gonna sue the label, I would advise you to try your hardest not to let this shit leak out to the public. Because the minute you do, this ain't gonna look good. It's not gonna fucking look good. Like if you look at the optics of the entire thing, the shit just looks bad. You just took a major ass whooping, and your very next motion is to sue your label off of a song that your competition put out about you, even if you didn't sue the man directly. It just looks bad. I've been saying that the entire time. I can't say if it's like you said on one of the episodes, like if it's an attack on the industry, an attack on taking charge of your own career. I can't say. I didn't read none of that. I'll take your word for it all day long. But it's just the optics of it and the public perception makes it look bad. And honestly, he kind of made it worse for himself. All Kendrick did was drop music. Your reaction to it and your actions behind it after it are making you look worse than the beef itself. And I don't think he realizes that. Nobody in his camp is telling him, yo, you don't think this look bad? Just a little bit. And I really can't blame them niggas over there at OVO because Drake literally has set them up for success for the rest of their life. You're not going to chop the head off the golden goose. You're not going to do it. You'd be a damn fool to do so.
I mean, the optics, I understand. It does look bad. With the whole court filings, I think those are public. So there's really you can't really control that because, if a judge has to see it and maybe it was arbitration, I don't know. But if they're litigating, then all those records are going to be public record. So
Mm-hmm.
anybody can get those.
For sure.
So there was no real way to conceal that. And he is going to have to kind of ride this out, right? So if there is a long-term effect, it's going to be apparent years from now. It's kind of like advancements in science or medicine, stuff like that. There's a lot of stuff, and I'm not going to get into the whole COVID thing because that would be like the most relevant, but there's a lot of different examples of widely held beliefs. And this is why I don't like when scientists get all like arrogant about like everybody knows, like everybody doesn't know anything for sure. There's a lot of stuff like washing your hands when you were a doctor before you treat patients, using gloves. People really thought that was ridiculous. I know now we're like, oh, well, we know now. But like back then, people were like, what are you talking about? No, I don't have to do that. There's a lot of stuff that happened, and we're constantly, disproving things and finding out what's true and what isn't. So I'm always of the opinion I like to wait and see. I do have my predictions, but there's very few things that I'm going to be like, this is absolutely bad, and this person's going to look bad forever. But maybe, it's definitely very probable. But we'll just have to see. We'll have to let the lawyers battle it out, and we'll see what real impact this has.
That's my whole mentality with this entire
got
situation.
A question for both of y'all.
What's up?
So, do y'all think if this, like, say it doesn't, like, have the final, like, the judge grants UMG or the judge grants Drake, let's say it settles, they settle out of court. Is that a win for Drake?
Probably not in his mind.
Who settles?
Like if Drake settles.
Oh, okay.
And gets the money?
And gets money or some other stipulations in the contract.
If he got the difference on the contract, allegedly, that he was eligible for, I think he counts that as a win. But DNA, listen.
That's what I was going to say.
This is a part that people are really missing, okay? When people sue you, a lot of times the play isn't actually to win, right? And we can look at this with the UFC. That's going to be a little too complicated to keep it short. But we can also look at this with Dan Bilzerian, okay? We'll take a pop culture person that everybody's going to kind of know. Dan Bilzerian, the reason he had a fall from grace is he fired his mans. I forget the exact title. And that guy was like, bet. Are you going to fire me? Watch this. So Dan Bilzerian fires this guy, his manager, whatever. He goes and files a lawsuit. They go through all the paperwork and they're like, oh, wait, you paying these people. This business is not actually making any money. This, that, and the third. Now everybody has access to what is actually going on. Oh, okay. Have you ever made a profit? You lost this much. And even if he was going to be able to stay afloat, his brand is very dependent on, we all think you're a successful businessman, blah, 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 blah. So if we no longer believe in that, because that's a lot of like the stock exchange, right? A lot of money is simply belief, not real value. We believe that this is value, and you didn't necessarily break any laws to get us to believe that, so it's not fraud. That's a big part of how this works, right? So all I really have to do is crack this Pandora's box open and just let everybody see, right? You know, like a 10-man, like let everybody see you have no heart. And now this whole game is going to change. Now, I don't know if that's the exact play. Obviously, I'm not working on the case, but that might be the thing. Like his thing just may be like, I don't need to win. If I can just expose you, this might be one, good for me and good for everybody else. And if not good for us, at the very least, bad for you. And if it's bad for UMG, it's probably bad for every other record label in the country, in the world. So just keep that in mind.
Now, I was going to go with that was, now that he's spoken his opinion, I'm thinking, I think if Drake were to settle and get whatever he thinks he's owed or whatever, I agree with Thurman. Like, I don't think this lawsuit is, the purpose of it was to win. I think he just wants what he wants. He's trying to get his way. You know what I mean? He's trying to get it his way. And he like, I bet if I can't have what I want when I want it, the way that I want it, you motherfuckers finna suffer. Like y'all want to fuck with me, right? So bet I'm gonna do this. And he's using the beef as a means to do it, which is crazy to think about.
Maybe he had the foresight. Maybe he was like, you know what? I'm only gonna respond to Kendrick because I want to sue my label secretly. Maybe that was a play. Probably not, but maybe that.
Probably not.
Maybe like, that was like
I said it during the beef. Like Drake is a lot smarter than people think he is. Like, you know what I mean? Like the nigga been in the industry this long and has gotten advice and experience from all over the fucking place. This nigga knows some shit. You know what I'm saying? We really don't know how much he knows because this nigga get on social media and acts like a man child. But, you have no idea what the type of shit he knows.
Yeah. He
You know
was
what I
in with
mean?
Lucien in the early days, even like 2011, 2012. Really, really in good with Lucien. So
Like, nah, bro.
I
The
don't
fact
know
that
that that's just a talent thing because that was before he was considered like the top guy.
I'm telling you,
So,
bro, like I mean, it's no secret. Everybody knows this about him. But we may claim Drake in the black community to a certain extent, because I don't know, it depends on who you talk to. But we may claim him, but that man is also half Jewish. That has a lot of advantages, which is a issue that a lot of people seem to have with him. He can't help that. That's how he is. But I'll be damned if he's not using that shit to his advantage. So
Okay, we can move on. So another project dropped. Alex Isley. She dropped the EP called Win, not
mhm.
WIN, but WHEN. Yeah, it was really good. I really enjoyed it. She's really not. She's really not a bad singer. So it's like,
You
so
saying
yeah,
that like somebody told you that. Who told you that?
yeah. No, I'm just saying, period. Like,
Told you, but
so yeah, it's great. From top to bottom, I only didn't like one song,
she
"Fool's
keeping that
Gold,"
Isley legacy
but
strong, bro. I'm
other
telling
than
you.
that, yeah. I mean, I guess you can call that a 9 out of 10.
Yeah,
But yeah,
she
really
keeping
good.
the
I don't know
she
if
keeping the
anybody else
legacy
listened to it.
strong.
no, I didn't get a chance.
Okay.
But
Uh,
you like up and coming singers though, right? Like R&B
yeah.
stuff like that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I'm getting into it more.
Silk, you froze. I don't know what happened. Maybe you need to go in and go out. Okay, yeah, you realized it. But go
Yeah,
ahead.
maybe doing a reset. But if you like singers, because I'm getting like more into it. Not that I don't like singing, but I usually more like old stuff because I want to hear somebody really go hard. Like one thing I've been recently, I'm a Miley Cyrus fan. Not that I didn't like her before, but like when I started going through her albums, I was like, Miley Cyrus is really. I don't even want to say that girl. That sounds a little zesty, but like Miley Cyrus is really out here, like, and has been for a long time. And a lot of other artists are getting like the acclaim and the respect that I think she deserves.
Right.
And it really kind of blows my mind because I'm like, listen, I'm like, oh my God,
Mm-hmm.
Miley Cyrus is serving. But one person you should watch out for is Liston. Check that
Okay.
out. There hasn't been a drop in a hot little minute, but just listen to kind of how he's coming. Because
Okay.
he's got some pretty good stuff. I mean, he's on Spotify as well, but Liston Liston.
Okay.
Watch out for that name because it's surging right now.
Okay.
Even when you look at the numbers in his most latest hits or most latest like drops, you can see a big jump even on like songs that are on the same album.
Okay. I see gospel, jazz, R&B, fusion, classical, and hip hop. That's a lot of stuff to be mixing up.
Yeah, I personally don't like to label music as like multiple genres. I think that gets a little dicey.
Right.
But you see that, right? Like you see
Yeah.
that the number of plays.
Yeah, I see it. Yeah. I don't know if he need me to resend the link because I do it. He never
Maybe.
said anything. Let me see. I'll just resend it anyway. But yeah, I'm gonna check him out. I'm gonna definitely check him out. Oh, there you go. I didn't know if you wanted me to resend you the link.
Nah, I don't know what happened, but technology, folks. What can I say?
Yeah. But did you listen to it? Alex
Yeah, I
Isley?
did. hmm I
What you
heard it.
think?
I thought it was good, man. I keep saying every time somebody mentions her name on this podcast, I say she carrying that Isley legacy really damn well. So there's not really much to say. She's a damn good singer and she makes damn good R&B music.
Niece, daughter.
She's the daughter of Ernie Isley.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Don't nobody know who that is. That's the one who plays the guitar.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about, right? With the singing, like I like that stuff, like the Isley brothers. Like, I'm not gonna give too much game away, but stuff like that.
Leon Thomas dropped the single with Halle Bailey. It was really good. I like that
I
one.
didn't even know that happened. I'm gonna have to check that out.
Yeah,
Wait,
yeah,
Halle Bailey sings?
yeah, yeah. She sang. Yeah.
Oh,
Good to
Oh,
know, right? Yeah.
you weren't
Not.
aware of that?
the only thing I know is it was a pandemic, and two of my buddies were on Instagram, and they were like, "Oh, look at these sisters; they're so bad." And then maybe a year or two later, I think they were in a movie, not the mermaid one, and they were in The Color Purple and stuff like that. So I'm assuming probably because most singers before they get in movies, they have to have like been famous for a while. I just thought
Oh, okay. So you
actors.
weren't really tapped in. Okay, so
Right.
brief little history. They are sisters. Chloe and Halle, they're sisters,
Okay.
obviously. They started out doing covers on YouTube and skits on YouTube when they were really little. And then
Oh.
when they got older, Beyonce got a hold of them and signed them to her label. It's called Parkwood or something, DNA. Is that what it's called, Parkwood?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So Beyonce got a hold of them, signed them to her label. They put an album out. It was amazing. Then they got cast in Grownish on TV,
Okay.
and they made even higher name off of that. And then when Halle got cast in The Little Mermaid, she left Grownish to go do that movie. And before that, they had put another album out, which got nominated for like a bunch of Grammys. And then after Halle went to go do after
Oh.
Halle went to go do The Little Mermaid, they decided, well, Chloe decided she was gonna go solo for a little while. So,
Oh, so they were a duo the whole time. Oh, wow, that's tough.
yeah, they went duo.
Dang. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Maybe my niece was telling me they were on Grownish. I forgot about that.
hmm
Yeah. I like that the Blackish. I like the way they do
Yeah.
that show, by the way. I know this is not a TV thing, but all my white
No, we
friends
talk
that
about.
watch Blackish keep doing that, so I don't have to have that conversation with you. They're steering you right. Okay, you come check with
Right.
me after you watch that, and then I'll
Right.
tell you. But good. They're doing
Yeah,
God's
no.
work.
Right. Yeah, we talk about stuff like that too. I don't
Yeah, we talk about a
like.
lot of different things on here, not just music.
Yeah, not just music. But I just haven't. Like honestly, I think I told. I don't think I told them on the podcast, but I was watching Equalizer. I've been watching Equalizer, and I love Equalizer. Um. What else? It's another show called Surface. It's on Apple TV. They just had their season finale. So they just left on the cliffhanger, and I hate when they leave on the cliffhanger, but that means there's another season coming.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, I don't really talk about shows like that because I'm really like,
he
uh,
trying to be music focused.
yeah, music focused. Yeah. But yeah, like I said, Leon Thomas dropped the song with Halle Bailey. That was really good, really good. He's gearing up for that Mutt Deluxe. So I can only imagine if it's a like whole nother project. I can only imagine. It could be, could not be. I don't know. Of course, because he talked about it earlier. Well, late last year, and like it was very brief. But Leon Thomas, he doing his thing though. Like, song is called "Rather Be Alone."
I'm gonna check that
Uh,
out later.
okay, so we can get into Wiz. Uh, of course I've had high expectations for this. Only mainly because like I wanted to maintain what I know the original for. Like that's it. Like that's what I wanted to maintain what I know the original for. And it did. It sounded a lot like the first one,
Don't say
but
that.
also not so much that it's not now. Let's just say that. It's not, it does sound similar, but not completely like the first one. Because the first one is already regarded as a classic. This has the potential to be one. I feel like because of he basically got everybody Cardo, Sledgerin, which I love. Sledgerin is so slept on, I feel like, but super underrated. He also got one from Juicy J. I didn't like that one too much, only because I don't like when Juicy J do slow beats.
I like that song.
But other than
It
that,
went straight
yeah,
to the Juicy J feature. You know me. I
yeah,
was like, "Where's your Juicy? Okay, let's get it."
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, all around, this was a 10 out of 10 for me. Album of the year qualification, all of like everything I
Wow.
wanted, I got. Like everything I wanted, I got from that. Like it was one song. Like I know Silk, he sent this to the group chat. He sent the one with Cardo, and I was just like, okay, that's cool. But then I heard the one where Terrence Martin was on that saxophone, and I was like, why you ain't said this first? Like that shit sounded amazing, and he wasn't even rapping in the beginning. Like it was like a minute of a like saxophone solo, and I was just like, "Oh my god!"
Terrence Martin is
Favorite
not a
song,
rapper. He's a
Terrence.
saxophonist. He's not
Right?
known
Yeah,
for rapping.
yeah. I know. That's the
And the
makes it
and the
so
and the
great.
and the and the
The
reason I
production,
didn't and the reason I didn't send that first is because that's not the song that I was on when I sent you that. So
okay,
I
yeah,
hadn't heard that song yet. So
okay, yeah. Like
um
Terrence Martin, man. Like man,
um how do I want to say this? I thought the album was really good. I'm not gonna sing its praises like DNA is though. I'm not gonna sit here and try to compare it to the first. I'm not one of them. I'm not one of those people. Um, this is the thing I was gonna say about earlier about sequels to albums. It's almost like a sequel to a movie. It's like you're not supposed to. People got to stop expecting the original out of a sequel. Don't do that. That's not what it is. The original is the original. Leave it alone. A sequel's job is to expand upon the original. And this album does that very well. And Wiz was very careful and smart to get mostly all of the producers who were on the first one. Cardo, Sledgerin, ID Labs, Edan, all those guys got Juicy J on there. He's, Terrace Martin. So you're supposed to capture the vibe of the original, which he does flawlessly. Every song is not perfect. Probably towards the back half of the album is where it starts to like falter for me. But overall, it's a solid project. I'll give it a 9. I'm not gonna give it a 10, just because that back half is too shaky to give it 10. I still like the songs, but it's just like, you got all this momentum off of, the first half of the album that by the time you get to the second half, it's like, okay, the momentum slowed down a little bit, and then the tone of like the type of beats he was like the sequencing in the album is a little shaky around the second half. But I feel like if it had been sequenced different, then it'd have been a 10 out of 10. But just that
can
back
you?
half though, the first half is straight perfection from
Right.
Wiz. You know what I mean? And that has a lot to do with the fact that it's literally Cardo on the first like 5 or 6 songs. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? That's how you kick an album off. I wish they would go and do a whole collab project again like they did a few years ago, but time will tell. Um, Now what was you about to ask me?
I was gonna ask you where exactly do you remember exactly where it faltered on the second half?
Yep, right after the Max B interlude.
Okay, and I like Red Eye, but go ahead.
No, I ain't saying that's a bad song. Don't mistake me. I don't think there's a bad song on here. It's just the sequencing of the album really, like, it kind of like, okay, did that for me. Like, up until the end, it was a 10 out of 10. It's just none of the songs are terrible. It's a sequencing thing. Sequencing
Yeah,
of an album is very important
yeah,
because you can have
yeah,
a cluster of great songs, but if you don't sequence them carefully, it's not gonna go over as well as it could have.
Right.
So,
Okay.
but I give it
My
about,
resident,
I give it about a 9. I really enjoyed it.
Wiz Khalifa fan, super
Yeah,
fan.
I mean, I really don't want to commit to
Damn,
a
you
rating
found
just.
you found a bigger Wiz fan than me. Are you sure?
Yes,
Oh yeah,
I think he is. I think he
Oh,
is.
okay.
live and breathe Wiz. I will get Cabin Fever 2 on vinyl. Cabin Fever 1 I used to put on to a lot of people who weren't rap fans. My mention sitting on 40 acres. Who are the
For
neighbors?
the
I
neighbors,
mean, that was
yeah.
Juicy J, but still.
No,
Um,
that was that. Wait, hold on. Let me make
that
sure I
was
got my
Juicy.
history right. That was Juicy J that said that, but he also made a song called "Who the Neighbors" based off of that song on Rubber Band Business too. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, that was right after that. So, all right.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm one of those people, and this is Wiz, but this is also just generally people changing their sound. Now I understand why Drake fans started to like turn on him at views, because that's when I started being a fan. But once I finally listened to the older albums, I was like, oh yeah, this is starkly different, and I would be a little let down. So that's kind of where I'm at with this, and that's why I don't want to give a rating, because a lot of stuff it takes me a while to really feel out. Just like the Cardi albums, like the last 2 Cardi albums, before this one, I was like, this is garbage. I'm turning it off. And then by the end of the year, I'm like, this is one of the best albums of the year. One of my favorites too. And I was that way with Taylor Alderdice came. I was like, why is it so different? Like I hate, but then I was like, I think that was Kush and Orange Juice too. Personally, I thought that was, I didn't know if he could top that, and he did. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. But I mean, I've been listening to Wiz, like, I think right after Kush and Orange Juice came out, that's probably where I caught in. So, the Ink My Whole Body, like all of that. Prince of the City 2, which was another classic. Burn After Rolling, classic. Might be his best free album. Might be top 3 projects of him. I got to be honest. And sometimes I waver until I listen to it again. I'm like, yeah, that was phenomenal. That could have won like album of the year. But, it is what it is. But I mean, this, I would have liked to see, especially the features. I wanted to see more. Like, I want to see Juicy J at least twice, because I felt like we've been accustomed to that. And Chevy Woods, but I wanted to hear them do something hard, like, remember we were here, remember we do this. And they were a little bit too casual for me. They were like, yeah, we'll just make a good record. But like, I don't want to hear that. I want to hear another, every day. I want to hear another OG Bobby Johnson remix. Like, I just want to hear you come mix it up. It didn't have to be like a long album. Like, even if it was 10 songs, if they would have just came and did that, I don't care if every song had a feature on it. Like, I would have loved that. But I didn't get it, so I have to spin on it and listen to it a couple more times.
For sure. I'm gonna circle back and say some other things I didn't say. As far as Wiz's albums are concerned, I have been saying for the last probably 6 or 7 years that the best album that Wiz ever put out to me, the best album, not free album, not a mixtape, the best album he ever put out to me is Rolling Papers 2. That's to me, because of the fact that you literally get every era of Wiz up till that point in that album. It almost plays like a greatest hits. Almost. When we talking about vibes. You talking about pop Wiz. You talking about trap Wiz. You talking weed raps, chill Wiz, party Wiz, romantic Wiz. All of those Wiz is collabed into one album, right? But I'll say this now. This just might take that over as the best album he's ever dropped. Cause I ain't never really been the biggest Rolling Papers one, advocate. Like, I like the album. It's a good album, but it's just like, how you talking about stark differences between projects.
Oh yeah.
You got Kush and Orange Juice, you got Cabin Fever, then you drop Rolling Papers and it sounds like a pop album. Like, that's not, like, you were doing that on other projects, but this is literally an album full of it. It's like the first half is all, like the first like 3-4 songs is all some shit like this. Then you get the roll up and you just like, okay, I like this song. I love that song, but it's just like, okay, I see where you're going. You doing a pop thing. All right, cool. Then you go further into it and it's like, oh, you're continuing to do the pop thing. Okay. All right. Now you lost me a little bit. I've grown to love that album a lot more as I've gotten older, but that I've always felt that way about that album, and I feel that way also about ONIFC. Like it's just too much. Like the tone of this album is literally jumping all over the fucking place. Like I admire Wiz for not, doing things that other rappers wouldn't do, but that don't mean that you should do it. You know what I mean? And that's been the one issue I've had with him the entire time I've been a fan of him. Is that like, yes, you do things that other rappers will not do. And that's admirable and appreciated. But that's just because you want to do other things that other rappers aren't doing. It doesn't mean you should do it. Because the idea and the passion is there, but the execution is this. That's why everybody always looks at Wiz's mixtapes over his albums.
I mean, I definitely feel where you're coming from. To drop Cabin Fever right before Rolling Papers and expect it to be digested well was asking a little much. But I will say Rolling Papers was an underrated album because it was pop in terms of the sound, meaning like literally the beats. But when I was really listening to the content, I was like, oh no, he didn't actually deviate at all. Like
No,
this
he
is still
didn't. It's
vintage
just,
Wiz. But this is, beats that we don't necessarily care for. But, these casual people, right, that just want to put it in a playlist, I think that's who it was for, while still like keeping himself. I think his best album was ONIFC. Personally, I mean, that's just like a whole, that's like a life goal, say the whole thing, say the real words. But I thought ONIFC was probably his best one. And I don't know that he really has an album style. I think he has a mixtape style, which I love, where he doesn't have to like, not that he has a low IQ style or strategy, but when he can just get in there and be like, I'm just gonna make some raps and I'm just gonna go hard and I probably will drop 3 of these within the next like 14 months. I love that. The album stuff is like he tries to really explore and like really get into some stuff. So he does have some hits, but it's not as consistent in terms of like every track. So, I don't know. I don't really know what to make of this. Was this a mixtape or an album?
This is an album. But here's the thing about ONIFC that kills me, right? Not necessarily, actually, no, not ONIFC. This thing about Rolling Papers that kills me, right? He drops Rolling Papers, right? Then almost a year to the day, he drops Taylor Alderdice, which sounds nothing like Rolling Papers and sounds everything like Kush and Orange Juice. It's just like, bro, you should have just dropped this instead. You could have kept Rolling Papers. I love Black and Yellow. I love On My Level. I love, what's that one song? Top Floor. Say yeah, that's fine. I love all of these albums, but you could have kept that and put this out. Why didn't you do that?
Because it was a time bridge, right? You don't want to give all of your best stuff within the same 2 years. If I make 4 flame albums, right, I'm going to do my best, especially if I'm sitting on it. I'm giving you one good one, one mid one. And then the next year, I'm giving you one good one and one mid one. So now you have this image in your head. Because it's like, if you have 4 great albums over 5 years, people see that as longevity, right? Which it is. But if you make all those albums in like 2 years, people are just going to say, oh, you were hot, but it was never the same. And it's going to dwarf all the other great stuff you did, because people aren't going to be comparing you to your peers. They're going to be comparing you to you. And they're just going to take those 2 years and be like, okay, well, this was his best one, so this was his only great one. When in reality, they were all great.
Yeah.
It's kind of like athletes right now. Like, could you imagine how horrible it is to play in like LeBron's era or Jordan's era, especially if you're like you're a John Stockton or you're like whoever else is like just a spectacular talent. It's like, okay, that's LeBron, but I'm amazing. Like if I'm like a Kyrie Irving and people are going around saying like Steph Curry is better than me, like, do you see my highlights? What are you talking about? So, I mean, I get what you're saying, but I thought it was smart on his part. He did crash that piff with that, if you remember that.
He did. He definitely did. And I was actually, that's funny. We was just talking about that not too long ago. We was actually talking about like the my preference of hot new hip hop over Dat Piff as a place to get mixtapes. Cause I was talking shit like niggas used to like I'm gonna take you back, DNA. Like you remember high school, bro? Like niggas used to be like, man, we finna go get the mixtape off Dat Piff, and I used to be like, no, why the fuck would you do that? Dat Piff crashes all the time, like clockwork. Anytime an anticipated mixtape comes out, Dat Piff is going to crash. It's inevitable. It always happens. Take your ass to hot new hip hop. I'm telling you, no problems. Easy download.
Yeah. I was
I
just
probably,
like,
I think the only big mixtape I ever downloaded off of Dat Piff was probably Sorry for the Wait. That's the only one.
I think I was like going to different sites. I was doing like live mixtapes. Um, shoot, later on became popular Spinrilla. What else? My mixtapes that became popular at one point. Like I was just like surfing. I was going to different places. I wasn't just like stuck on Dat Piff. But at
Right.
one point, I did give up on Dat Piff. Like this is fucking horrible.
Yeah,
So
nah. Once Dream Chasers 2 came out and Dat Piff crashed, I was like, yeah, this shit is done. Fuck this.
yeah, so
This shit
I
is
would
done.
like it if I was an artist personally. I'd be like, I just crashed that website. That was great. You know, as a fan, you know, it's not the best. I did have my only Karen moment in my whole life when I couldn't get that Taylor Alderdice album too, because it was like finals were coming up, and I was like, I'm gonna talk to the manager. I didn't say that, you know, verbatim, but I was like, bro, y'all got to get it together. But you know, they
Hmm.
also had exclusives, right? So that was my big thing. Like the Dat Piff exclusives, I think really eclipse any hot new hip hop exclusives. And I'm not even that knowledgeable on hot new hip hop, but hot new hip hop was like, okay, I got a single. You know, I got a single, like it's cool. You know, it was almost like the YouTube component to like Spotify. Like if
Hmm.
you just need to keep dropping and you don't necessarily want to commit,
right.
boom. That was a perfect platform.
So I don't know if anybody paying attention to the Mount Rushmores that's like AI Mount Rushmores that's been floating
Yeah, I
around.
have. Yeah, I
Okay.
saw 'em. I
What
Um,
is
saw a
it?
lot of them. Okay, so
uh,
niggas been making these AI generated Mount Rushmores of different things. There's a Mount Rushmore of goats. There's a Mount Rushmore of greatest New York rappers, greatest female rappers, greatest R&B singers, like women R&B singers in the 90s, greatest Jordans. There's a whole bunch of
yeah.
AI is not reliable. I keep having to say this. Well, I'll start this by saying Nicki Minaj is the greatest female rapper. During her era, she was one of the best and greatest rappers of her era. And people need to stop playing with her, especially specifically female artists. Guys, if you're coming up, you should be paying respect to Nicki Minaj. You should not be dissing her. You should not be saying, I did this and she didn't do this and blah, 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 blah. Like, that is hurting you. That is hurting you. Like, you have to think, these fans, most of them, and I'm not saying it's true, but most of them are like, I don't want to hear nothing you put on the record unless you getting up there and shaking that, you know, I
right.
don't care. I don't want to go to your shows unless you. Okay, so we understand that. So here you have one person who it will get on a song and will arguably destroy other people on a song. Like people who are like resident goats, like resident like leading rappers, eat them up on a song. She can do pop that's still rap, right? And it doesn't sound like and we talked about this I think earlier when people do like certain like pop features and they seem kind of out of their element.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
She is perfectly integrated. She does a pop record, but she's rapping like she is doing everything that you could possibly ask. Like, don't like, please respect her. So, if anybody's on up there, if that AI thing did a Mount Rushmore and she's not on there, that's embarrassing.
Okay, let me clarify because I think I didn't explain it all the way. Like people are making these lists. They just the images are AI generated.
Oh. Well,
Yeah.
okay. That makes sense. Well, the thing is, even if the list was AI generated, AI is not real intelligence, right? Like it's capable of synthesis, but it's not capable of ingenuity or like actually like inventing things. All it can do is spit back patterns that are the most widely publicized.
Right.
So even if it did make the list, it's pretty much is gonna give you back like public sentiment. You know, they're gonna be like, who is the most impactful rapper, and it's probably gonna spit you back like Eminem and like Kid Rock, and you know what I mean. Like it's, you know, Post Malone.
So
It's
DNA,
unbelievably flawed. It's flawed.
which Mount Rushmore pissed you off the most? I know that's why you brought
It's
it up.
no,
Where
it's
are
not. That's
these? I want to see
where
these.
They
it's
all over.
just
They all over social media.
Okay.
uh
Yeah.
uh it didn't really piss me off so much. It's just like it's just a good talking point. I thought I'd just bring to the forefront. Specifically the white one. The white rappers. So
Are there enough
it's
of
like
them to have a Mount Rushmore?
it actually is. I feel
Okay.
like I mean it's not. See, here's the thing. Like, yes, it's not a lot of them, but they also get often forgotten because of rap is genuinely black dominated, of course. Like so, to make a long story short, though, the list was, and I'm probably going off a little bit. It's not the exact order, I think. So it was Russ, Eminem, Paul Wall, and
Mac Miller.
Mac Miller. Yes.
I was about to say Mac Miller better be on there. Okay, I think I did see that. I'm surprised Logic's not on there.
Okay.
Oh
Now
well,
we're gonna
as far as the people.
No,
Right.
I was gonna say, because technically, I was gonna say, the internet. Like technically, that guy's mixed, so I'm not shocked that he's not
Yeah.
on that list.
Yeah. For
Oh
sure. He's
yeah,
definitely mixed.
that would happen.
So
I don't know why the fuck that just happened.
Right. Yeah. So I wanted to I feel like they got 3 out of 4 right.
What about G-Eazy?
I wouldn't put him up there.
Me neither. Like,
and the reason for that is because, and this is my thing. I'm glad you actually said that, because DNA knows this. I am probably the biggest fan of West Coast hip hop that I know. I'm an advocate for it. I grew up on it. It's one of my favorite genres. It's one of my favorite subgenres of hip hop. But I've tried so many times to get into G-Eazy's music, and I just can't do it. I don't think it's because he's white. I just can't get with him. It's just something about him that's just like, I can't get behind your brand, dog. Like, I know there's a lot of people in the Bay that respect what you do. I respect what you do. There are some songs of his that I do like.
Oh,
but
he's West Coast?
Yeah, he's from the Bay.
Oh.
So, I've tried desperately to get into his music. I just can't. And that's the reason I wouldn't have put him on no white rapper Mount Rushmore. Somebody, actually not even somebody, Machine Gun Kelly got his ass on social media and said that he believes that he should be on the list. A lot of people disagree. I can see why people disagree, because if you look at his solo output, at first he was a rapper. Then, after the whole beef with Eminem, he decided that he was going to turn into Kid Rock. So there's that. But, if we talking rapping, DNA knows that when we talking about rapping, I'm a huge Machine Gun Kelly fan. When we talking about rapping, because the dude can rap. The dude can rap.
Rapping so bad.
The dude can rap. You know what I'm saying? When him and Corday put out that freestyle, I was at a year or two ago. Me and DNA sung that shit praises for like 2 weeks.
It's really good, really good.
Man, yeah, you definitely brought back some memories with that one.
The dude can definitely rap. I will not say he can't. He's definitely one of the better white rappers I've seen in my years on this planet. But as far as his like output musically, like I can't put him on no white rapper Mount Rushmore just because you literally let one of the members of this Mount Rushmore spook you into punk music.
I
So, I
mean,
can't really.
I
And also,
mean,
Even if he really wanted to do punk music, it's just that's just how it looks. You know what I mean? You get into it with arguably not arguably, the greatest white rapper of all time and arguably one of the greatest rappers to ever live. Then all of a sudden you're like, oh well, I'm doing punk music now. Oh,
that's
okay.
unfortunately a common thing. Yeah. I would have loved to see more people speaking up for Yellow Wolf. Me personally, if y'all never heard that Ballad of Ricky Bobby, that or maybe it was called Ball of Flame,
Oh,
but
I've heard Yellow
basically,
Wolf.
huh?
Yeah, I'm familiar with Yellow Wolf's game.
me too.
Oh, sorry, I thought this camera went out. But you guys remember the race car movie with Will Ferrell?
Ricky
Yeah,
Bobby, yes.
Ricky Bobby, yeah.
Yeah. Talladega Nights. That's the thing. So the Talladega Nights artwork, that mixtape, you need to go spin back on that if you have not heard that.
Right.
Some of these people, Post Malone, I didn't even consider him because I'm like, what, he made one album and then he immediately started doing country. So, I mean, his catalog is just not really there. You know what I mean?
No.
Beastie Boys, stop. Action Bronson. You know what? Action Bronson with that Harlem style. White rap needed that Harlem style so bad because I feel like that is one thing that they were just not getting is like materialism. Is just like they were just lacking in that department. And Action Bronson is a really good like lifestyle raps. Like if you just want to just hear like I just want to double down on how great my life is. Talking about playing poker on a riverboat, like it's just a little slick. I'm not gonna say he's like one of the greatest we ever seen or anything like that, but Lil Dicky also, I think, technique wise, if we're talking pure technique, if we're talking just rapping, I think also he should have got some consideration. Now, the reason G-Eazy, I only said his name, I'm not a G-Eazy fan, never have been. I think G-Eazy makes maybe he does have the materialism down. He makes rap for white rap fans specifically. Maybe not necessarily on purpose, but like even I remember when I was in college, some people come in, you try to, appease the audience or whatever. So you're like, all right, we're doing some rap. We're trying to throw some stuff in there they might like. I put on some Mac Miller. And the amount of like like people were offended. They're like, "Oh, Mac Miller, like he thinks he's black and blah 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 blah." And I said, "Okay, friend, what do you want to listen to? Like, who is your?" There's like G-Eazy, bro. Like G-Eazy's so hard. He's fired, bro. He's fired. I'm like, this is okay. All right. But yeah, I'm not saying he's got to be on there, but I'm just saying I'm surprised that he was not pushed there. I don't know where Russ came from. Maybe because Russ ran that fade on Guap Dad. Maybe that's why.
I think Russ is on that list. Sorry, DNA, I'm gonna have to say it, but I think Russ is on that list because whoever made that list couldn't think of anybody else.
That's crazy.
Now that's not to say that Russ isn't a talented rapper. DNA knows I like Russ. I'm just saying, like, if I'm in the mindset of a person making this list, it's like, okay, I know Eminem, I know Mac Miller, I know Paul Wall. What other white rappers are there that we could name? It's literally like if you in a group think, and it's like, okay, anybody, like any white rappers, it ain't many. Who do y'all name? And somebody in the crowd just be like, well, Russ rap. All right, let's put him in there.
Yeah, I can see
I think
that.
it's just because they couldn't think of nobody else. And that's not a slight to Russ himself. That's just like, I think the casual motherfucker making this list is like, yeah, I know Eminem, I know Mac, I know Paul Wall. Who else can we put?
Yeah. I would have left Paul Wall off of there for the complete opposite reason. Because, like, I know factually he's white, but I don't think of him when I think white rapper. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't even cross. Like, I'm literally looking at a picture of it right now. And I'm like, man, Paul Wall is white. He is white.
He is
Dang,
definitely white.
I forgot.
Yeah, because when you hear, look, I think I speak for all of us when I say the very first time I ever heard Paul Wall on a song, I thought he was black. You can
Yeah.
imagine my shock when I watched the Still Tipping video and there's a white man right there. Like, really?
Yeah. Now, hey, now
Damn.
we're talking about white rappers. Dang, I was about to bring up somebody. Dang, I just blanked. My bad. Go ahead.
DNA.
Oh, yeah.
So,
We're talking about white rappers. We're talking about the greatest white rappers. What about John Cena?
I'm so happy that
No.
I'm so happy that our other two co-hosts aren't here because they would have been just high-fiving you through the damn camera right about now.
No, but I was a huge John Cena fan though. Like you don't understand. Like I actually I used to like that. I definitely would not rank him, but like, when you were a kid, it was like cool. It was like, some family friendly word life, with the Aaron Carter days. Yeah, Aaron Carter. Yeah, I forgot about that. Rest
Yeah.
in peace.
Rest in peace to that guy.
Rest in peace. I just found out he died. I was like, dang, that made me sad.
Damn, you didn't know that?
No, I really don't keep
Man,
up with celebrities like that. I'm not gonna lie.
that I don't keep up with him either, but the news is the news, so
Yeah.
like that fucked me up.
Yeah. That's like almost like Mr. Rogers dying. That's like dude from Blue's Clues dying. Like, nah, not Aaron Carter, bro. No.
Yeah, them substances had him in the chokehold, and it's very unfortunate.
Oh no.
Yeah.
so
He fell into that. He fell into that trap that most child stars fall into with drugs and alcohol. So,
oh man,
he never really truly recovered from that. I think there was a lot other stuff. I think it was much deeper than that, but we never know because he's unfortunately no longer with us. So.
So I looked at a video explaining this because they said the title was literally Machine Gun Kelly thinks he deserves a placement on this list or whatever it said. I can't remember the exact title. But yeah, I get it. Machine Gun Kelly, but
us.
but and Machine Gun Kelly is a good rapper. He's a good rapper. But the thing is, like, it's like at this point, if we're talking Mount Rushmore, it's like a who did this, who did that, or how did you do this in order to become like, oh yes, I gotta see you. Like, oh, I gotta see you in concert, or I gotta listen to what you got next. And if I'm thinking about most consistency, Russ has been very consistent as far as like rapping and projects, quality of projects. I'm not really fully into Russ to where I'm, like I said, like his singing is good, but I don't like him singing. So, but I do recognize that he can make a singing song and it'd be good, really good. Like April 7th, for example, like that shit is really good. And sometimes I hate that I like it sometimes, but like I do like that song a lot. And I think it was dedicated to his girlfriend or wife or something like that. I don't know for sure.
His girlfriend.
So, yeah. So, yeah, Russ is like pretty much your quintessential like musician because he handles everything, literally. Engineering, producing, rapping himself, writing, and the marketing. And at one point he did cross over and go to the mainstream. So I can make a case for Russ that like he did everything, literally, as far as music goes. So, I mean, well, he does music, so he already gained a good enough fan base to where, it's a large majority of white fans, but it's also, he does have a nice pocket of black fans too.
Hey
So,
man, my man sold out the United Center. That's all the proof I need.
hmm I love his Chomp series, which he's like strictly rapping. Like, it's also one album that like was really good to me. Zoo, like that was really good. I love Zoo. Um, the snow shake the snow glove, it was cool,
You know,
but it
that's my
wasn't all
shit.
that to me.
That's my shit.
Yeah,
Take the snow glove.
but um, yeah, like I feel like he has just his hands in so many pots there where like we can't. Yes, at one point, like it was like, dang, who is this nigga? Who is this guy? Just like really, just like he had a moment where he was like hated, and when you're hated, like it draws more attention. Every good publicity is every publicity is good publicity. Like
For sure.
bad hate, love, whatever it is that you're doing, because at one point he was saying he was just talking down on engineers and producers, how they or people who make videos, like he was talking down on them at one point in the beginning of what we just like starting to recognize Russ. So I feel like that's great, and that pushed everybody towards music. Like, what the hell are you talking about? So, to make a long story short, those other guys, him included, of course, with Eminem, like that's self-explanatory. Mac Miller is self-explanatory. Uh, the fourth, I would like to like group. It would have to be Beastie Boys, because Beastie Boys was the first to like do this, and I could recognize that. Okay, even Eminem got influence from them. Also, he loved LL Cool J. Like, so it's like I can get why like Beastie Boys like is important. So it's like need to be like a makeshift of all three of Beastie Boys on there, and then Eminem, then Russ, or then Mac Miller, and then Russ. Like whatever order you want to put it in, like as far as skill level or record sales or whatever however you want to put it, but Beastie Boys has to be there. I mean, you can say whatever you want about their music, but it's it's some great songs that they got in their catalog.
I ain't gonna
So
lie, bro. It's funny that you mentioned the Beasties because just recently I was scrolling Twitter and somebody said something about how the Beasties weren't really hip hop. They was a bunch of punk rock dudes that Rick Rubin found and made rap.
mm, that's not all that shocking.
It's
Yeah,
not
that's
it's not
believable.
that
Yeah.
shocking to me either.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
it's
say
good
if I
though.
have to do a Mount Rushmore, I'm gonna say M, Mac, Action Bronson, and NF. And I don't keep my ear to the ground that much. Obviously I don't know like as far as gossip, I don't know like Halle Bailey and all that. But NF is one of those people. If you haven't heard of him, because again, I'm trying to keep this like technique. He's not a Christian rapper. Like he's not, he doesn't like that. But it definitely sounds like he's a Christian rapper, but he was basically like, I'm just a rapper, but I'm also a Christian. So, like if somebody's a plumber and they're Christian, are they a Christian plumber? Like that's how he phrased it. But I'm pretty sure he doesn't
That's a
cuss.
good
And
way
there's a
to.
lot of like Jesus, God references in there. It's like, I understand you don't want to be put in a box because once people say Christian rap, they're like, okay, so this is inherently not to be taken that serious. But NF, just check that out and then come back and say whether or not you feel like he belongs on there. If you guys have heard of him.
Right.
Oh, I
Yeah, I've
know
heard of
exactly
him.
who
I've
that is.
never actually.
Oh yeah?
Um,
Yeah, I know who he is.
yeah, I never exactly like
You
listened.
know, I'm
You
not
don't
I'm
like
not
him?
well I'm not
I
I'm
never
not well
listened.
versed in gospel rap, but I know who he is. I'm familiar with his
But
work
it's
as well.
not gospel rap. That's the
No,
thing.
I know
Like
that. I'm just
it's
saying,
not
like, if when we talking about that, that's how I was introduced to him, is like he's a gospel rapper. That's what the term that was
right,
given to
same.
me.
Same.
But no, I know he's not.
Yeah.
I think he's just a rapper that doesn't curse. You know what I'm saying? Because
And
you
that's
know what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
if
those
you
are
if you
hard to
want to go
find.
by that, we can call Will Smith that. Because Will Smith don't cuss in his raps. Like what? You know what I mean? Like everybody wasn't cussing in their raps till probably the late '80s, early '90s. You know what I mean? Like.
That's fair. I just want to throw that out there.
Yeah,
All right, are we doing? Female artists? Are we doing female rappers now?
we
Because
can.
I just found all these Mount Rushmore lists, so
Okay.
now I finally understand what y'all are talking about. Because you know
We
I'm putting
can. I
Sexy Red
mean,
on there. We're doing a female Mount Rushmore. You know you know I'm putting Sexy Red on there. I'm sorry, bro.
I can't.
It ain't no getting
Okay,
away
so when we talk about, are we talking about like all time female rap, or are we talking about female rap right now?
all time.
Because if we talking about right
Sexy Red.
now, I'll put Sexy Red on there. I won't put her all time. I can't. But let me see. All time, huh? Oh, it's easy for me.
I got a good all time, and I can just go word for
Uh,
word,
Marty, hot tamale.
let's see.
Let's
Nicki,
go. Got it.
Lil Kim,
Okay.
Missy Elliott,
Oh, I forgot. Yeah, I
and
forgot about me.
yeah, I'm thinking right now because I'm weighing commercial impact versus my personal bias. So I gotta say Lauryn Hill, bro. Like niggas will say not Lauryn Hill because she only put out one album solo, but it's just like, bro, like
Yes.
d-
One
does the
album.
does the does the Fugees not exist? You know what I mean?
They
Like
do, but
we can count her rapping with the Fugees as a standing point because she did rap on that album. You know what I mean? She wasn't just on there singing and trying to be pretty.
and
She
I
was
get
spitting
that, but
better
it's
than
kind of the similar reason.
she was spitting better than Wyclef and the Informant on some of them songs. So
But it's a similar reason why we don't put Andre 3000 as one of the best rappers, one of the greatest rappers. Even though clearly, if we're talking flow, if we're talking, I don't have to write anything, Andre 3000 is up there, but he's in a group, so he's out. I didn't make the rules, like I don't know, but it's just some
I
people
don't
do.
know,
And
bro.
also one solo
I
album
yeah,
is like jeez.
some people do. That's unfortunate though, because we talking about rapping here. We ain't talking about if they solo or not. You know what I'm saying? That's like telling me Ghostface Killer and Raekwon ain't two of the best rappers to ever exist just because they started out in a group. Like,
Oh
you know what
yes,
I
for sure.
mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what are we talking about here? We talking about rapping? No, we talking about something else.
Well, so here's the thing. Also, when we're talking about rapping, we're talking about genres, sports, stuff like that. We always have to take into account the impact, not only on the people who are competing and the people who are making the content, but the impact on how the fans receive them. So that's why, for instance, like Eminem is going to be on almost all rap Mount Rushmores because not only was it that talent there, it was the commercial success of like helping it go mainstream and stuff like that. So because of that, having all of that in consideration, I'm gonna say Nicki Minaj, Missy Elliott. I'm so glad that you said that. Nicki Minaj, my female rap, my female rap, sorry, my Mount Rushmore of female rappers: Nicki Minaj, Missy Elliott, Cardi B, Sexy Red. The most definitive list that cannot be challenged in any way, the most accurate, the most punctual list, the greatest, most impactful, culturally accepted, big energy, versatile artists, female rappers are those four. And I will defend each and every one of them on that list.
First, before I say my list, I don't know if you've been paying attention, but everybody doing this whole morning routine, what they do in the morning or whatever, and is going viral. So Wiz took a part in that. Wiz Khalifa took a part in it, and he basically had like maybe 8 cartons of orange juice and put it in a bowl and dunked his face in orange juice.
Who did that?
Wiz.
Nice.
Oh,
Nice.
Oh man. Hilarious, but also necessary.
yeah.
It-
No.
so my female rock, my Rushmore, I'm doing all the time. I would just do all the time. I would just say Nikki, not in this or particular order, just saying the names. Nikki, Missy Elliott, MC Light, and let me get Lauryn Hill.
Okay. I like the
Yeah,
MC
one
Light.
time you said Missy, MC Light, Lauryn Hill, and who?
Wait, Nikki.
Oh, Nicki.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I just saw the video with the putting his face in his orange juice. That is fucking funny.
Yeah, I just saw it too. Nikki, MC Light. I gotta take MC Light off of there. Who are your other two?
Lauryn Hill.
Lauryn Hill, yeah,
And,
one album. One hitter quitter. One hitter quitter.
Man, that's tough. That's unfortunate, man.
I told a
I
line for
mean,
consistency, man. Like I
I
cannot.
get it.
I would
I
never
got
get
let
it.
people. And
I
who's your
get
last
it.
one? Who's your last one?
I said Missy, MC
Oh,
Light,
Missy. Okay.
Nikki.
Missy.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Nah, MC Light is out of there. I'm sorry. I mean, I understand people try to do the whole like, she was a female rapper that was respectable and blah 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 blah. Like, guys, I hate to break it to you. There's no real limits on how you present yourself in rap, because the whole point is making being you cool, as I've said before. So if you're, on the ratchet side, you do that. If you're a family man, make that cool. If you're, like a little Dicky, whoever it is, that's your impact. Because this didn't start out all ratchet, right? There's different ways you can go about it. So I think there's a little too much nostalgia with that. I think that's also why people would try to put like Queen Latifah or like MC. No, we already said MC Light. Am I thinking of Eve? Maybe I'm thinking of Eve. But no, I just don't see the people like
Let me
embracing.
also say this. I feel like, we can all agree that women in rap are they have like this point where so much pressure is put on them to perform, bro. Like they have to know how to write tolerable songs. They have to look good. It's just like so much put on women that's not put on the men. So I can see in the totality of Cardi B only having one project, Lauryn Hill only having one project, and facing the pressure of like think about if they can't recoup like whatever in their contract. Well, think about that, because it's so much money sucked into women that like does not sunk into the men. So like it's just like a more taxing task as like someone like Nicki, like what 5-6 albums I want to say. I don't know exactly, but look at how much she had to do to be popular, because like I mean chest, ass, like makeup always got to be on point
The
every single
bang.
time she's on. Right. So like it's just like we look at all these other women rappers and I'm like, okay, I get it now. Like it's just like a lot that goes into it. They get so much pressure to perform at an all-time high, and men don't. We just don't, bro. Like it's like all we have to do is have good raps, right, and just be consistent. Like consistency. They have to do all of that times 2, times 4. So
Yeah.
Like,
For sure. For
I
sure.
mean, I won't
And
say
that's
there's
why,
no pressure there, but you got people like Missy Elliott who set the foundation for you to entertain, and you have Nicki Minaj, who, in my opinion, not only has that Missy Elliott like entertainment factor, she's got the versatility of being able to make pop and the just bars. Now, I do agree that yeah, I don't think you'll have any female rappers today that can just stand there waving a towel around at Coachella, just like rapping half the lyrics, and people are like, "I'm satisfied with that. That was perfectly. That was fine." Like, I definitely get that. But I mean, yeah, I understand they're responsible for more, but are you saying like that should change like the judgments as far as the Mount Rushmore, or like is it like they don't have enough as much time to like work on being, you know, lyrically potent?
I think it goes into like everything because as most of us know, like we came from a woman. You feel me?
Right.
So it's like the psychological like stuff, the things that women deal with. Like we
Yeah.
gotta take that into account. Um, do I want to be a mother? Do I not want to be a mother? Do I the indecisiveness of women? Like I'm not trying to bash women. I'm just trying to make it clear that like they have a lot more to deal with, like
Yeah.
and they have a lot to like consider.
Yeah.
Like they just gotta, that's, and I'm not taking nothing away from any artist that's a woman that chooses to rap. But I can see why like Lauryn Hill only gave us one project, so
Oh,
like,
okay.
and
there
That's
were a
what.
lot
also
of, hold
Okay.
on. I'm glad you brought that up because there are a lot of factors into why Lauryn Hill has only put out one album. There's a whole lot of factors in there. We was talking about this
Yeah, I
earlier.
didn't want to get into that.
Like
I was gonna leave that
I'm
there.
gonna just touch on it because there's so much shit. I can only touch on the shit that I really like, truly know for a fact. First of all, Shorty had 5 kids, 5 of them with the same dude. That's one. Number two, she ain't never really been a big fan of the industry anyway. So it's just like, if I can't do it the way I want to do it, then I'm not gonna do it. Third, that parent job is a full-time fucking job. She probably didn't feel like she had the time to go in the studio. Like, you know what? I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm not feeling music like that right now. I think I'm gonna go do something else. I mean, I think a lot of that, you know what I'm saying? It has a lot to do with who she is as a person. That she probably chose to do that. You know what I mean? Because music is like fly by night by her. Like she's so talented that she can do the shit in her sleep, and it's just like I don't have to do this shit. Like you know, I accomplished so much between 1993 and 1999 than most rap women will ever accomplish in their lifetime. The fuck else do I really have to do? You know what I mean? If I don't want to drop another album, I don't have to drop another album. Look at Cardi B. Cardi B, the only difference between Lauryn Hill and Cardi B is that Cardi B has been consistent not only in dropping singles sporadically, but she has a huge social media following because of her previous days as a reality star before she ever put a song out. You know what I'm saying? It don't hurt that she looked good and her ass is fat. It don't hurt. You know what I mean? So that's the only difference really between her and Lauryn Hill. Cardi B can afford to not drop albums because she has a huge social media presence. She could eat without dropping another song ever again.
She's still making hits though. You know?
That
yes, and yes and
that's
no.
yeah, yes,
And
and
they
yeah, I was
don't
about to say that.
like. I feel like a lot of her singles are um also assisted by a man that's writing it, and also also like her last biggest hit was WAP,
WAP
and that
for
was
sure.
so like the ones after that fell on deaf ears. Like they wasn't popular for long. 2-week period, maybe less than that. A lot of her singles are good, but they don't last as long. They're glorified TikTok songs. You feel me? So
Yeah, well, here
and that's not no dig at her, but that's what the fuck they are.
I mean,
and
I
here
think she's
and
making solid stuff for like Glorilla and like Meg. Well, no, Meg was the WAP, but no, I'm pretty sure she has some other hits other than that. Hold on.
I mean,
What year was the?
she had. I can tell you right now, I don't remember every single song, but I can just think of a few songs she dropped after Invasion of Privacy won that Grammy.
Yeah,
I know. Press is one. I know. What's that real popular one she had right after
the
she won
Hop
that
Out the
Grammy?
Coop,
DNA.
All on the
Yeah,
Roof.
that.
That one.
What is that?
Yeah, that was hot.
What's the name of that? I forgot.
Yeah, I forgot.
I think
too,
it's I Like It
honestly.
Like That.
No, that's the one with Bruno Mars. That was on the album.
That was on
Not
that
Bruno
one, yeah.
Mars.
No,
That's not Bruno
Please
Mars.
Me
That
is
was
Bruno Mars.
J Balvin or something. Yeah, that's Bruno Mars. J Balvin, I think, was the one for I Like That.
Yeah.
But she's had several hits since she dropped the album. Let me go back. Let me go back real
Money.
quick.
Up was
Money.
2021.
Yep, that.
Yeah.
WAP was 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah, I Like It. The Hop Out the Coop, that was 2018. So maybe that was on
Money.
the album.
That's the name of it. Money. Money was
Yeah,
huge.
Money was hard.
Money was huge. Please
Money
Me,
was hard.
Press, WAP, Up. She had that one song she put out with dude whose name I'm not finna mention. And Lil Dirt. That hot shit,
Yeah.
that was huge.
Yeah. Yeah. But
I
then you
would
could
love
tell it was
her
old.
to make a collab album with Sexy Red.
You know what? I forgot. I forgot about fucking what's that song she put out a couple years ago? Bongos with Meg. I forgot about
Yeah,
Bongos.
they tried it again, and it did
Yeah, they
not
tried
work.
it again. It didn't hit. It didn't hit like WAP did. It hit, but not
Right.
like WAP did.
Well, WAP
Right.
was part of the video, though. Part of it was the video.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
The video and also like conservative outlets like losing their mind. Because
Yeah.
let's be honest, it really wasn't the nastiest song we've heard. It's just that the vulgarity was integrated into the hook. So the repetitiveness of it was like jarring for them. But I'm like, guys, if you didn't hear it, you missed Lil' Kim. You missed a lot. If you think that was like some of the like, you think that's out of bounds? That's I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
You know,
for sure. But other than what we just talked about, I have nothing else. I don't know if you guys got anything.
Not much. Oh, I do got one more thing. We didn't talk about. I don't even know how we didn't talk about this DNA because you like the leading authority on JID. You ain't even talk about the single he dropped.
Damn it, my bad. Yeah, he did drop a song called "Work."
No, I have not heard it yet. I need you to tell me something before I press play.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's good. It's really good. I just, like they're pressing the button, but it's like, okay, I don't know. I just like in the mix. I'm in the middle of like, is they gonna press the button on Ari Lennox too, as far as R&B goes? Are they gonna both come out around the same time?
I'm glad you mentioned that because
Omen also dropped. Boss
I'm
dropped.
glad you mentioned that because
Like,
I found out. You remember how we was talking about why Dreamville artists haven't been dropping like that, right?
Right.
I found out why. So during Dreamville Fest, Kaz did an interview and he basically explained that the issues with none of the Dreamville artists dropping consistently had nothing to do with Dreamville and everything to do with Interscope, which is the same shit I said when Ari put that shit out. It was an Interscope problem. It's not Dreamville. So Kaz has been let go from his Interscope deal. I think Omen also.
It's good. That's a good thing.
Ari, she is still with them, but I think I don't know how Soft Girl Era is doing in terms of like airplay, but if it's doing as good as Pressure did, we might be getting her album really soon. We might be getting it anyway.
Right.
Boss got this album coming out with the Hicks, which I think is a good look because they make good music together. Kaz is slowly putting out singles.
Yeah.
Omen just put a single out. So they things are looking good for the Dreamville crew.
Right, yeah. Just Cole is super quiet, which is weird.
I don't know why. It's not weird to me at all because that's exactly what he does. You know when Cole finna drop.
Yeah,
The most visible Cole is the one you know something's finna drop.
Yeah.
So right now he's not planning to drop shit. No, zero.
Yeah.
Fair.
I feel like the reason the fall off hasn't seen any updates is because I feel like to a lesser extent, Cole is treating the fall off like Dr. Dre treated Detox. It's like, and like I said, to a lesser extent, it's gonna come out, but it's just like, cause think about this, DNA, for a second. The fall off first got announced in 2018 and we didn't know what the fuck it was. We just know he was coming out with something called the fall off, right? The very next year, he puts out that list of projects he wants to do before he's wants to retire. You know what I'm saying? Features were on that list. Revenge of the Dreamers was on that list. The fabled It's a Boy was on the list. The Fall Off is on the list. He's done the features. He's done Revenge of the Dreamers. We still ain't seen It's a Boy. I don't think we're gonna see it. The Fall Off was announced officially in 2020 before the pandemic hit. Then he scrapped that and put the off season out. Still like, yeah, we working on the Fall Off, but I wanted to do this first. It's been 5 years since he first announced the Fall Off for real.
But you know what I mean? He was working on it around the same time as For Your Eyes Only.
If you listen to the Inevitable series, like I know you did, he actually been working on it since Forest Hills Draft, but you know.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Damn it. But either way, that's like damn near 10 years he's been working on One Eye. Like,
I think he really, that's why I say to a lesser extent, he's treating it like Dr. Dre treated Detox. Whatever I feel like I really feel like he wants to be done with rap after the fall off. So he's trying to make sure it's the perfect last album from him before he says, all right, I'm done.
Yeah.
And I can understand that. If you truly calling something your last project and you serious about retiring, in my mind, I'm thinking you want to make it the best work you've ever put out. So you're going to take time with that. It's going to take years, unfortunately. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everybody can't be like Kendrick and take 2 years and then come out with a perfect album. Everybody can't do that. You know what I mean?
Or Drake and, come out with great albums every other year,
Every other year is actually correct. No, he's not lying, bro, because every other year is absolutely correct.
That's on purpose, because Drake is like, bro, I'm too famous to be dropping mixtapes, so I'm going to just call this album, but me and you know what's really going on, and then I got you.
Truth be told, DNA might disagree, but the last good album that Drake put out, to me, was Certified Lover Boy. That's the last one.
Oh, I agree.
Like genuinely good. I'm not saying For All the Dogs doesn't have good songs on it, but for the most part, it's just like, dog, some of these songs don't need to be here. They just don't. I'm not going to mention Honestly Nevermind, and the reason I'm not going to mention Honestly Nevermind is because Honestly Nevermind is not a rap album to me.
It's not. It's a house album.
So, you can, yeah, Jimmy Cooks is on there, but it's not a rap album.
I'm flabbergasted because Certified Lover Boy is really close to my heart. Though I didn't think it was that good, like I just felt like spiritually, like I should like it a lot more. So I'll always give it another chance. But you didn't mention Her Loss. Her Loss is top 3 Drake albums.
I only didn't mention it because it's a collab. That's the only reason. If he was by himself, it'd have been different. That's the only reason.
It's considered as a collab. Yeah,
it's considered as a collab. If Drake was by himself, we'd be talking about something else.
It was just a Drake album.
I get why you're saying what you're saying. I really do. But it's kind of like this. Like anytime I go back to Her Loss, I agree. Like it's a Drake album with 21 on it. I agree wholeheartedly. But the mere fact that 21's name is next to Drake's is like, nah, this is a collab album. Like, even if Drake was the catalyst behind every song that's on here, it's like 21 is like, nah, this a collab. Like, we collaborating on this. You know what I mean?
I mean, could
It
we
ain't
make an
just.
argument that Wiz makes collab albums then? Because I mean, like he will have
No, we can definitely do that. We can definitely do
Juicy
that.
and I wouldn't personally, but you know, Juicy and Chevy on everything, Burner on everything. You know, that's at
I get
least
what you
3
mean.
features.
I get what you mean.
You know,
But no, I don't think because of that, like working with the same people, I don't think working with the same people on every album is the same as collaborating with somebody on the whole album. Cause like,
he's been working with
look at,
21 for like 8 years.
that's true. But look at Wiz and Currency's relationship, right? When
Yeah,
they
he's younger.
collaborate on some shit, when he collaborate with Currency on some shit, they really collaborate. Like it's a joint effort. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
There's no singular song where it's just like, oh, this is just Wiz or oh, this is just Spitter. It's both of them every time. They both got input. They both have similar patterns in beat selection, so you know it's gonna come. They truly collab. You know what I mean? And that's what I was saying about her loss is that even if you want to talk about What a Time to Be Alive with Drake and Future, like niggas was like, What a Time to Be Alive ain't nothing but a Future album with Drake on it. It was like, yeah, but Drake literally
nah,
makes this type of music. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like Drake makes this music, so he can fit in like a glove. Just like 21 makes the same type of music that Drake make, even though if you talk to him, he'll say he don't, but he does. Just look at his I Am Greater Than I Was album, if you asking me that. Drake could make all those songs, low key. You know what I'm saying? So both of them collab on that album together, even if 21 and Drake have their own solo songs on the project, right? It's
yeah.
like, nah. You know what I mean? Same thing with this fucking Drake and Party album that just came out a couple months ago. Like, where the collaborative songs, you could tell, like, Drake and Party was like, nah, maybe this. Nah, maybe this. Then Drake was like, you know what? I'm gonna just, like, take this whole fucking thing over. This is gonna be my shit, and your name just gonna be there.
I mean, look, you know, Goat's got to do
I
Goat's.
feel like that project had a singular direction at first, because I feel like they had already been planning to make this for a while. Then the beef happened, and Drake was like, "No, you know what? I'm about to do like a creative overhaul. Like it's still gonna be a collab album because most of the songs on there are Drake and Party, but in the middle of that is mostly just Drake trying to do some shit."
All right, I'll let you have that. Music to watch out for. Listing, like I was telling DNA a little bit ago, where he got disconnected. He said he had a lot of different like genres that he's blending in, but I think he's on the come up. Personally, he's surging right now. That's
Where's he from? Do you know?
Liston. Huh?
What's his name?
Where is he from? Where? Oh, well, answer his first. Answer his question first.
Liston.
Liston.
Yeah.
How you spell that?
Liston.
Oh, like Sunny Liston. Okay, cool.
Yeah, so check that out.
Where
it's
is he from?
Huh?
Where is he from?
I don't know. I think he's based in LA. I mean, there's a lot of musicians that are though, but
Okay.
I'm not actually sure. I'll have to look that up. Let me see.
Uh,
I don't know, but let's see. Does it say on here? I don't think it does. But yeah, check out Liston. Definitely gonna come up. Flagrant was a real solid track. That's Rhymester and Prodigy, and the Smoke It video just came out from James Slay. So James Slay kind of has like a rap house trance like type of style. And that video was real. Like, I wouldn't say we're bringing videos back, but I really love when people are like impactful and really expressing what their brand of music is. Even a little moment when he's like riding a bike, I was like, yeah, bro, that's so James. I love that. So 420's tomorrow.
Yes,
right?
it is.
So the Smokey video's out, so you can start the day with that, or you know, maybe you wake up a little late. Definitely want to hop on.
I do want to say one other thing that I forgot to mention earlier, but I was waiting purposely for the end of the show to say this. So both of you I don't know if either of you are interested in this, but to both of you and to anybody who's listening, if you have not, or not, if you literally have nothing else to do this weekend, go to your local movie theater and check Sinners out.
Okay.
Go,
See,
It's good.
you know what's
go,
crazy?
because it's fucking amazing. And since this is a music podcast, let me just say this. I'm not gonna spoil nothing, but there's a certain part in this movie that's gonna cater to some music fans, and I think people are gonna love it.
Cool.
Okay. But
Uh, what's interesting is like about 2 weeks ago, I mentioned that about that movie to a woman, and they was like, "No, it looks trash." Let's see. I
Mm-mm-mm.
was going for. I know she liked horror, and I
So
know she liked
misguided.
Michael B. Jordan. So maybe she'll check it out at a time where it's on streaming platforms. I
So
can't fault her
misguided.
for that. Yeah.
No. This type of
Uh,
movie, I love movies, okay? That's a passion of mine outside of music. I love movies, but I say this right now. There ain't too many movies that have come out lately that I say deserve to be seen in a movie theater. This one deserves to be seen in a movie theater. Please go see it on IMAX if you can, or if you can't, just watch it on a huge screen, the biggest screen you can find, because it is something to behold. Not just from a story standpoint, but from a filmmaking standpoint. It's beautifully written. It's gorgeously shot. It's great. It's greatly acted. There's not a terrible performance nowhere in it. And the music is phenomenal.
okay. I'm
um,
definitely gonna check that out.
one of the last things I want to mention. I forgot to tell Thurman this is when I first mentioned it last week. I mentioned it last week before we got off. So we've been nominated for an award. Cold Hard Fast Podcast has been nominated for an award. Make sure you vote, Mr. Thurman. I will send you the link. This is so we're nominated for. Let me exactly tell you because I don't want to. Because like man, I be forgetting to tell people sometimes. I'm not gonna lie. We're nominated for Best Society and Culture Podcast.
Oh,
So
nice.
yeah. So
Okay.
yeah,
I'll vote for you.
yeah. So it's on Saturday, May 24th. It's free if you want to show up and show your support. You know, it's other podcasts, of course, I'm not familiar with. I'll try to get familiar with them, but the voting closes on May 1st. Just to
Okay.
for to
And it's gonna be like they're gonna have a physical event.
yeah, it's gonna be a physical event. Yeah,
Okay, yeah. Let me know if I can slide to that.
yeah, for sure. But yeah, I don't think I don't got anything else.
Yeah, I ain't got
Oh,
much.
merch is coming soon. Merch is coming soon. Also, a merch online store is coming soon. Also, everybody who not every single person I'm gonna get to people. Some people will get some merch for free or some exclusive merch that I'm putting together. I'm currently doing that. But yeah, we launched the store on May 2nd. So yeah. But yeah, that's our show. That's it. That's all. But yeah, we'll see y'all next week.
All right.